Hey guys, it's Jolene from Home Stitchery Decor. Welcome back to the channel. And if you're new here, welcome. I'm Jolene. I am from Calgary, Alberta, Canada. I'm going to fix my camera here just a little bit. You guys seem just a little off kilter. There we go. That should be better. And today I'm going to sew a rug for you guys. So I sew these rugs all the time. You guys are really off kilter. I wish this thing would kind of like stay where you put it, but sometimes it doesn't. Orientation is locked. Okay, that does hopefully look a little bit better. All right, first thing we're gonna do is pull up my channel, and this way I can hopefully see you guys either chatting on the on my phone, or I can see the comments hopefully come up on my television screen. And I should mute this, shouldn't I? There we go. Let's mute. All right. So this morning, hello, who have we got here? I'm going to sew a rug. So I got a whole bunch of these fabric strips. I order them bulk, basically, from the supplier. And I thought, wouldn't it be fun if I just do one from start to finish live? I did a live last week, and we honestly, we had so much fun here. It was ridiculous. So we're going to do it again. So these are Ruby Days by Wilmington Prince. It's called 40 Karat Gems. And I ordered 8 of these. I am getting ready here for Christmas markets, which means I'm going to be doing a lot of sewing here in my channel. Like a lot. And I hope the orientation here is right for you guys. This doesn't look right, does it? On my, I guess if you turn your device, how could we turn our device? Orientation is locked. Rotate the device back. Well, I don't think I'm going to be doing that. Can you guys see this? Can you leave a comment if you're watching on your television? Is the screen the right way, or do I need to restart the live here? Can somebody leave a comment? Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to open up the package. And now it just looks like this, which is fun. I can put this basket, I did 2 of these yesterday, actually last night. I was up till 1 in the morning sewing the strips together, because honestly, I have to pitter patter, get the heck at her in order to get my Christmas markets up and running. So I just pull them one off. The strips are in the same order on this package, so I'm just going to lay one on top of the other. And what I'm going to do is sew the strips on a diagonal. So we get our first strip, we lay it this way with our sewing machine. We get the next strip and we sew it up and down. So we're going to put it up, down. We're going to have them face together. We're going to turn them. And now we're going to sew the rug here. So the reason I wanted to do this one actually is I'm going to even try to bring up what time it is here on my computer. It's 9:24. So I wanted to show you guys how quickly you can actually sew one of these rugs. I teach it here all the time on my channel, but I thought, wouldn't it be fun if I just did it together with you guys? So I'm going to be sitting here until this rug is done. And I hope you guys want to sew with me today. So if you're here, go ahead and say hello in the comments. Let us know where you're all from. I'm wondering if I kind of feel like the orientation is off on this. Let me just try to flip my screen here. Let's see. Does that fix me on the television? I kind of feel like it's just going up and down. Let's just see. Welcome to live chat. Okay, well, we're going to change the orientation of this video then, because I don't want you guys looking at me sideways all day. I think that would be terrible. So give me just 1 second here and we'll get this repositioned. And hopefully I don't turn off my camera in the meantime. Welcome to live chat. This is what happens when you go live. Okay. Now, can we see the sewing machine? Yes, we can see the sewing machine. We'll maybe drop this side down a little bit. Okay, here we go. This is how we're going to do it today. Sorry about that. But I'm not a professional live YouTuber. Not yet. Maybe one day. Okay, so we've got 40 strips of random colors of red, 100% quilt cotton. These are called fabric strips. They're called roll-ups. They're called jelly rolls. And the finished product now is typically called a jelly roll rug. But these are also known as rag rugs, throw rugs, kitchen rugs. And good morning, whoever's saying hello there. Thank you for leaving a comment. So it's 100% cotton. The rugs are going to be filled with Pelon batting, which is cotton batting with scrim in it. I will show you the entire process here. And what else can I tell you? This is a Singer heavy duty machine. It's a 4432 machine. It is available on Amazon. When I'm done the video here, I will have a link in the video description and in the first comment with my Amazon shopping list that has literally everything that I use to make these. So don't be shy. Go back and look at the list when the live is over. I can't unfortunately put it on right now because we're working. But go ahead and get the shopping list if you want any of these supplies. The needle I'm using is a jeans needle today, which is 116 Schmetz needle. You can use a purple Janome needle as well. Those ones work really well. I hear, and my thread is a 40 weight polyester thread. And the reason I use a polyester thread is because it has a high break point, and you'll even see on the shopping list there that it is an embroidery thread, which I love because it actually has a really high break point. And if you use a cotton thread and you're walking on this rug and washing it all the time, it just will come apart quicker than as you use a stronger break point thread. So we're going to time it, see how long it takes me to make this rug. I think it was 9:25 on the clock. I'm going to do the full 40 strip rug. I haven't actually sewn this one round and round before. I've sewn the tubes here. I did a couple of them last night. But it's go time for production. So I really need to step it up. And it's kind of fun to sew with some other people. So I can see there are 11 of you guys here right now. And I've got 2 thumbs up. Thumbs up. Hello and thumbs up. I can't do all the hand motions and sew at the same time. But anyway, I just kind of want to do this video at the pace that I normally work. So you guys can see how quickly that this can be done. And bear in mind that I am a professional. I have done over 1,500 rugs now, and just like anything, it takes practice. So time and patience. It's like driving a car. You can't go too fast around the first corner. On your first day of driving, you need to kind of slow it down and make sure that you don't hit anybody. So the jelly roll rugs are available in my store as well. I will have the store linked in the video description, but if anybody wants to go check it out, it's Home Stitchery, which is STITCHERY. Chery decor.com. And I ship the rugs to Canada and the United States. So the pricing on the website is in, if you're in Canada, you should be able to see Canadian dollars. If you're in the United States, it should pop up as American money. And I basically sew and sell off my website. I sell in farmers markets, and I sell wholesale to some stores, and I sell at these huge Christmas markets. So what I'm getting ready for right now is building up my stock for Christmas markets, because I will need to have an insane amount of stock for Christmas markets. I think, well, I know last year I went in with $55,000 worth of sellable merchandise, and essentially I sold, oh gosh, I know how much I sold, but I don't really want to spit that out right on the camera here. But I did sell a ton of stuff, and it was over 4 weekends. So I split it up between 2 different Christmas markets. Both weekends were multi-day setups, and were 2 weekends long, so 4 weekends in total. I did the Millerville Ag Society Christmas Market, which is 25 minutes southwest of Calgary, Alberta, Canada. So if you guys are in the area and you want to come see me at a Christmas market, that's where I'll be. And I also sold at the Saskatoon Farm, which is about 20 minutes southeast of Calgary, Alberta, Canada. And that they have a fabulous setup out there. It's a greenhouse, farm, restaurant. It's a beautiful place to have a Christmas market. They really do it up well out there, so it's kind of fun. So I load up all of the things here in my studio and go and set up an entire booth. I typically try to get a double booth, which are like 20 by 8 or 24 by 8. So it's quite a large setup. And all of my products are mix and match products. If you're on the website, you will see that. So one product is meant to match another, meaning I often get multiple sales from the same customer, because of course if they purchase a rug, they might want a matching dish towel. Now, if the live sewing is not your jam and you just want to watch the actual tutorial for this video, go ahead and search the ultimate jelly roll tutorial, and you will see one here on YouTube, and it's got 4 rugs in the thumbnail. That's me. It's got over 42,000 views already. Yay. Thank you guys. I appreciate that. So if you want to go ahead and watch the actual tutorial, it will be a much shorter video, but you won't actually see me doing each and every step. You'll see the steps shortened and explained as best I can. And I feel like this is something that was passed down to me, so I teach it here on my channel. And if you choose to purchase some supplies or give a thumbs up or leave a comment or a super chat or anything like that, that helps support me and the channel. And I try to do a bunch of fun stuff on here, so yay. Gotta have more fun. There's actually a few videos on my channel. If you go and look at my channel and you see any of the thumbnails that have like presents on them, like little gold presents, those are my giveaway videos. Some of those videos don't have enough comments to trigger the giveaway yet. So if you're interested, please subscribe to the channel and go watch a couple of those videos, leave some nice comments, and you could be entered. Watch the video so you can figure out exactly how I do it, but it's really not that complicated, and I insist on having more fun, because dang it, every time you turn on the news, it's nothing but bad news, right? So I'm gonna bring the party. So this is almost done here. Super easy, you guys, to do this. So you lay the fabric strip, the first one down this way with the machine, you lay the next one down this way with the machine, face together, you turn it on an angle so it goes like this. And I always recommend going back and forth at the beginning and the start, and then we're going to trim off this triangle piece here in a minute. And like I said, I just kind of really want to work at the speed that I normally work at. So we can test the timing on this video. And of course, nails sometimes don't help and you can't open up the fabric. All right. And down and twist and start. And the reason I do back and forth at the beginning and the end of this diagonal is because the fabric holds together better. And it causes me less problems when I go to the next step. The next step, which is making the tube. All right. Hi, Jill. How are you? Where are you from? I see you up there. Welcome to the channel. Have you been here before? Let's all say hi to Jill. Make her feel really welcome or awkward. Put her on the spot. Hey, Jill, where are you from? I do love my long form videos, but I'm kind of digging doing these lives because I feel like my actual personality comes out a little bit better because I am a little bit, well, like anybody that creates anything in their basement. I'm weird, right? I'm okay with it. I'm going to own it. I'm having a good time. This is what I get to do for work, if you can imagine. What a wonderful way to spend the day. Sewing in your basement. Sometimes I spend half the night here too. All right, we've got our 40 done. I'm going to use this basket again. I know it's full up with rugs right now, but it's the same color and I don't want lint on everything else. So I've got, oh, look at that. There's my coffee. If you don't have a fabulous mug in your office, you're missing out. Get one of those. And the maker that made me that was at the Saskatoon farm this last Christmas. So she's super talented potter. Although I think she doesn't throw those. I think like she uses a mold. So that would make her a ceramicist. Anyway, she's super fun. And she makes all these lovely little pretty things. And I thought, why not get myself something pretty for my space? So I actually took a picture of it. I texted my other half, my husband, and I said, hey, will you buy me this for Christmas? And he said, we don't do Christmas presents anymore. Buy that for yourself if you want it. I'm like, okay. And we don't do Christmas presents because we're kind of, well, we're a bit older and it just seemed like we had everything in the house and then we were trying to force ourselves to go buy stuff that we didn't actually really need or want. And instead we just buy things when we want them and go on trips and vacations, and we have a trailer. So there's, you know, that thing just bleeds money, right? Yes. Okay. So what we're doing now, oh, I did it the wrong way. I threw my scraps in there. Essentially we're just cutting off the triangle here. So I cut the thread because it was attached. I grab the triangle like this and I leave, you know, a good 1/4 inch on there. I don't want it coming apart for any reason whatsoever. But this doesn't have to be Miss Fancy Pants. You can do it with a pair of scissors. Nobody's going to see the inside of it anyway. So it doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be done. Alrighty. Who else have we got here? We've got 26 people are watching the channel right now. So some of you guys are going to be new here. Hi, I'm Jolene. I'm from Calgary, Alberta, Canada. I sell jelly roll rugs, a lot of them, fabric rugs, rag rugs, whichever you like to call them. I have a whole bunch of stuff on my store, which is Home Stitchery Decor. And I teach what I do here on my YouTube channel. So if that's something that you dig, please leave a thumbs up. Leave a comment. Tell me where you're from. Let's have a little chit chat. Hello. I'm going to try to say this right. Nahid. I think it'll be Nahid. Anyway, hi. How's it going? Where are you watching from? Did you guys know that India is the channel that watches you, or the country that watches YouTube the most? I learned that the other day. I'll tell you why in a future video coming up pretty quick. I know a whole bunch of YouTube facts now. So I've got a project that I'm keeping under wraps until it is actually done, but it'll be coming out within the next 3 weeks. I believe August 16th is going to be the launch date for it. That may change as things go on, but it's pretty big, pretty proud of myself. Did something really cool. All right, Tina. Hi, Tina. How are you? From London, UK. Wow. Last week I had somebody here from Ireland too, which was crazy. I'm like, how does this, you turn on YouTube and you have no idea who you are going to reach. Okay, and Nahid, I hope I said that right, or Nahid, you're from Kuwait, but you're Iranian. How cool is that? It's unbelievable. If you haven't started a YouTube channel yet, you guys, and you're thinking about doing it, do subscribe to this channel, because I do have big news about that in the next few weeks. But I was super nervous. Like, when you go back and look at some of my very first videos, they were atrocious. Like, atrocious. They are so bad. Sometimes I think I should go back and delete those. And then I think to myself, why? People only get to see you when you're, kind of in your, nobody sees your first videos, right? So by the time I get to this point, like years later, and I'm kind of hitting my stride here with what I do here on my channel, people see, the good stuff or the better stuff, but they never see where you start. So if you want to see something really embarrassing, go and watch some of my first videos and have a good giggle with me. I know, it's amazing, isn't it, Tina? Ivory Moon Designs. What do you do, Tina, with Ivory Moon Designs? Let's see what she says. Everybody say hi to Tina. She has Ivory Moon Designs. Maybe she has her own YouTube channel. We could all watch it after this one. Don't go anywhere. Do not leave my channel to go watch Tina's, you guys. Oh, funny. Okay, so we've got, there, simple as that. I cut 40 triangles off, and then I'm going to cut the selvage, obviously, off the first end. And then this hamper literally just goes on the floor next to me. Sometimes I use my hamper, sometimes I use my big wicker basket, but my big wicker basket is currently filled with a different color, so it can't be here today. It's busy, totally busy. Okay, so this she says, I used to make cards in 3D designs, but I'm more into sewing now. All my videos are card making, so stay here. Okay, Tina, I have a whole bunch of card designs too, and I sell my card designs, and then other people can make them if they want. They are in my Etsy store, which is Mandela SVG shop. But if you are you still making cards? Like, are you still doing it? Do you have a YouTube channel? What's your story there, girl? Okay, so here's what we're doing with the batting. We laid the batting down onto the fabric, and the batting is Pellon. It's cotton with scrim. And then I've got the tube maker, which is this thing. I'm going to lose my thread here. This is the Clover tube maker. If you don't have one of these, get one. Maybe one day I'll have them for sale on my website, but not right now. And essentially what we're going to do is we're going to fold the ends of the fabric and we're going to fold it in half and we're going to get it going into this tube maker. So we folded it in half down the middle. We put it in the big end of the tube maker. We pull it out the side. So now it looks like this. We get the first little, make sure it's even on both sides and then get the filler clamp here. And I do have a full length tutorial on the channel as well as to how to make the tube maker. It's really not that complicated. But it folds the fabric in half and then the second part of it is going to fold it in half again. And so we're going to be able to sew the tube really quickly here. She says, I've only made for family. I only make for family and haven't uploaded any videos sewing related. That's cool. That is very cool. So do you mostly do cards on your channel? Is that correct? Okay, so there's the second piece of the tube maker. Now when we pull it, this one's going to fold it in half once, and then the second one's going to fold it in half the second time, and now we've got a tube. We do need to start the top of it here. So I fold the edges over, then I give it a little fold on each corner, then in half so it meets in the middle. And then in half again to make the actual finished tube. So I try to start it off so I have a rectangular piece at the top. You can see it's all nicely in there. And I have just a regular straight line stitch here we're going to sew. So this actually goes... Angie, I'm cutting my own batting, and if I could, should I cut it at 2 1/4 instead of 2 1/2? I always use 2 1/2. I like nice fluffy rugs. And if you're using this tube maker, it slides through here really easy. So always cut it at 2 1/2. You will get a much nicer finish on your rug. You'll have much more loft in the rug as well. And I recommend the Pelon cotton batting with scrim, and it holds together much nicer. I've tried lots of different battings. This batting I actually cut myself as well because I was able to get some bolts of fabric that were cheaper than buying the actual pre-cut stuff. Ah, dang it. Do you guys see this? Look what's happened. Look what's happened. I've ruined my rug. No, I haven't. But I don't have any thread going here. Okay, let's start this again. Something's happened here with the machine. And it's always when you're doing something live that something will go wrong. If I sit here and sew by myself and watch everything, nothing goes wrong. But if you try to do something live, of course, everything will go wrong. Yeah, I understand the batting scrap thing, right? Like sewing's an expensive hobby. Use whatever you have, and then once you're done with that, you'll want to up the ante if you keep going with it. So, but we've all got scraps in our sewing room. That's just the way it is. It's a blessing and a curse, I think. Like I always have fabric. Okay, so I'm not going to slide the tube maker all the way up. This was already pretty well pre-folded. It's just the thread buggered up. And I used to sew all of these without a tube maker, so I'm pretty good at doing both. Oh, Tina's watching intently for how to put it together. Perfect. It's going to be fun. I tell you, we're going to have fun here today. So this part is going to take, it's going to take what it takes. It's going to take an hour about to sew these 40 strips, which I know is crazy. But when I first started making these rugs, it used to take me 3 or 4 days to make a rug. And then when you use good fabric, good batting, a good machine, good thread, the clover tube maker, everything else will come together. All cards and boxes is what Tina says she makes on her channel. Well, that's exciting. Do you design all your own designs? Like I design all my own designs too. And then when I have my my booth set up at the craft market, all of my products are mix and match. So I have these big stands, and I have jelly roll rugs, tea towels, soup bowl cozies, dish drying mats, hand crocheted, which I crochet, dishcloths. I have my cards, which are I have a line of cards that are just for, you know, regular everyday use that have like mom, mother, congrats, thank you. And then I have my line of Christmas cards. Hi, is it Lois? Lois Delulo? Oh my goodness. I'm pretty sure I just ratched your name. Hi, how are you? Welcome to the channel. I hope you like it here. Just a reminder, you guys, subscribe to the channel because you will get notified. If you have that little bell notification on, you should get notified as to when I do new videos. I'm going to have to do a whole bunch of sewing here before Christmas because I need an insane amount of stock for all of my Christmas cards. Okay, got it. Lois, not lose. Oh, I was trying to say your last name. How do you say your last name? Delulo? Delulo? I don't know how to say it. Probably gonna, you know what? If I put that into, how could we do that? Chat GPT maybe would tell me all the little things on your name. Anyway, what nationality is that? Hola. Desde Argentina. Mi nombre es Vivina. Oh, yes. Your name is Vivian. Yes. Hola. Mi nombre es Jolie. Donde es Calgary, Alberta, Canada. Did I say that right? Delulu. There we go. I got it. I got it down. I think I got it. Anyway, so what we're making here, you guys, how many are on here now? Oh my gosh, 43 people. What we're making here, you guys, is a fabric rug, rag rug, jelly roll rug, whichever you want to call it. It's made with 40 strips of cotton, quilted cotton. The strips are 2.5 inches wide. They are mitered together, end to end. And now we are on to putting the Pellon batting into the, essentially we're making a tube. So we're going to make this great big long tube. And then we're going to sew the rug round and round and round. And you'll be able to see here at the end of the video the rug complete. It's going to be super fun. And we're all getting to know each other here. Hola, Viviana. That's so sweet. The best part, I think, about YouTube for me has been like how many people I've met. Absolutely crazy. I have so many like loyal, absolutely freaking loyal fans that either learn from me or they buy stuff from me, and I'm fine with either. Because you know what, like we used to have grandmas and stuff that would teach us stuff. A lot of people don't have that anymore, and you know, it's like I go to a market or I see a sale on my Shopify store, or I see comments here on my videos, and it'll be like somebody I met last week, or some, like I've had people drive from different cities to come and see me at a Christmas market because they saw my YouTube videos. It's absolutely crazy. Yeah, I like this machine. It's a Singer heavy duty. I believe this one is the 4452. And anybody that's new here, all the supplies When this video is over, I'm going to do a video description and put a comment here of my own comment, and it will have the Amazon link to all of the supplies. So there's no gatekeeping here. I do earn a small commission. Like, I might, if you bought this machine, I think I would earn like, well, it would be maybe 6% or something on it. It's not a crazy amount of money. I know last month on Amazon, I made, I think it was like $16.85 from people shopping on my channel. So it's not a huge amount of money by any stretch, but you know what? It's money. And I pay bills and turn the lights on and all that kind of stuff. What are the settings for the jelly roll? Okay, so I've got my stitch length set at 3, or the rag rug here. I've got my stitch length set at 3. I've got it on a straight stitch right now. My tension is at 5. My needle position is in the middle. So I'm using a jeans 116 Schmetz needle. And yes, hi Angie. The fabrics in this video it's just going to be all red. So I'm going to sew until the rug is done. I'm going to do the strips here. And then I'm going to do the round and round part of it in this live video. So hopefully we can make it before I have to go to the bathroom, because I'm also drinking coffee. They are all red. Yes. I just got these. These are called Ruby Days by Wilmington Prince. And like, I sew so many. I bought all of these. Well, I actually bought 2 packages of these, and I have 1 left of this. I'm sewing 1, and I did 2 of these last night. So they're sitting in the basket as well. It's a new color for me. It'll be available on my website pretty quick, the finished product. The thread is a 40 weight polyester thread, which is an embroidery thread. And I use embroidery thread because it has a really high break point. So when you're stepping on these rugs and you're washing these rugs, they need to have thread that will hold them together. And a cotton thread breaks much easier than a polyester thread. So I've made over 1,500 rugs. Thank you, Angie. Thank you. So that's so sweet of you. I've made 1,500 of these rugs at least so far. Lost count. Doesn't matter because it's not about me, but I just want to tell you, about my expertise here. I'm an expert. Now, just as a disclaimer here, I started out with tears and actual curse words. These were not fun for me to begin with, but I stuck with it. I'm like, this cannot be as hard as I am making it out to be. And lessons I've learned are buy decent fabric, buy decent batting, buy decent thread. I'm not talking top of the line stuff here, guys. Like anything that I do here, you can buy on Amazon, right? Like it's not, it's not like you're going to the fanciest quilt shop in the neighborhood and spending $150 on a fabric strip thing. That's not what I'm doing. But I don't think that bargain basement stuff is going to do you any favors because it doesn't sew nicely, and you will cry. It breaks needles. It's just a pain in the butt. So if there's a difference between, like, you spend $15 more on the supplies for this project than the cheapest stuff, go ahead and spend the money. You'll thank me for it later. All right, where is everybody from? We need to get the chat going here. So I started my business. I'll tell you guys a little story because you're here and I have a captive audience. I started my business in 2019. It's called Home Stitchery Decor. And I started with the rugs. And then I systematically added on mix and match products. And the reason I did that was I was deep into podcasts and I was listening to this lady, PA. I use the jeans needle. Yeah, I use the jeans needle. You can use the purple Schmetz or purple Janome needle as well. And it catches the thread on the bottom, so you have less skip stitches. So this fabric here, I'm using the jeans needle. I haven't had issues with it skipping stitches, but yeah, that's the needle that I'm using. So yeah, you guys, I started in 2019. I started with the rugs. I was deep into podcasts. I was listening to this lady who did cupcake trainings. And I believe you might still be able to find some of her videos on YouTube, but essentially her whole MO was to purchase or to make mix and match products so that you always have to upsell and have 10 mix and match products. Well, when you're sewing kitchen stuff, that's not that hard to do. Okay, so Angie, yes, I use the 16 for the zigzag part 2. Yes, hello. Oh, love to see a Canadian. Winnipeg. Hello, Winnipeg. The closest I've been to Winnipeg is Brandon, Manitoba. I'm sure you know where that is. We were at the water park. So my family's originally from the very, very, very south east corner of Saskatchewan. My mom is from a town called Perryville. My dad was from a town called Gainesville. And yes, I am doing a straight stitch. And this is, no, you're not dumb. Tina, there are no dumb questions. Everybody tell Tina there are no dumb questions. This is how we all learn. So embroidery thread is like embroidery thread that you would use in an embroidery machine. Yes, you can use it for that, but you can also use it for sewing. And it's not thick embroidery thread. The spools look like this. So here's a beige spool. It just looks like actual thread. So it's super fine and it has a really high break point. Okay, can I get a single strand of this? Because I'm trying to break 3 strands. Okay, that's the break point on that. So you want a thread that doesn't break easy. And I am currently doing a straight stitch on here. I've seen the rugs done with a serpentine stitch. And my take on that is you do you. This is my take on that. I want to sew... when I'm sewing the tube, I want to sew it super close together here so that I don't have a big flap on the bottom side. And that's going to be important in the next step. So I don't know if you can see this here, but you can, if you can, it's sewn right at the very edge of the fabric here. Yeah, of course, Tina, no worries. Like there are no dumb questions, honestly. I've learned everything about this business by asking questions and listening to, frankly, YouTubers and podcasters about how to do stuff. So we all have to learn. Like I maybe have a couple years on you. I'm 50 years old and have been sewing since I was a kid. But the business part of it, like where I really started to take things seriously, was in 2019. So yeah, so this Renee lady with her cupcake trainings, she walked you through like every step of like, you know, how to do colors, where to get color matching things, how to do pricing. Like it was just absolutely bananas. So now I do a lot of that too. You don't have to sew it in the middle, as long as it's going to be harder for you, Tina. I'll tell you why. When we do the zigzag portion of this, you don't want the bottom, like when we're sewing the rug, you don't want the bottom to not be caught. So the closer you sew your tube to the edge, the better chance you have of when the zigzag goes, it will catch the top and the bottom of each of these as we put it together. So Tina, you really need to stay here until... I mean, I'm not trying to tell you what to do, but stay here until I'm sewing the rug round and round and round. And I'm going to show you the bottom of it really close up so that you know what I'm talking about. I don't know if you should rip that out, but you'll have to try it, and if it doesn't work out for you, you could always put a second stitch in instead of ripping it out, and then have 2 lines of straight. That might work. And it's your first project. You wouldn't believe how many things I have messed up. Like, it's absolutely comical. Well, that didn't work out like a plan. But you know what? That's how we learn. Live and learn. Get, try to make your mistakes on cheaper fabric. It's kind of crazy. Oh, Tina's staying. For sure she's staying. We snagged one, you guys. Tina's staying till the end. And I am trying to do this as quickly as possible while talking, which is better than the full length, like the tutorial I did where I'm not talking, where I'm not live sewing and I'm just doing the tutorial. I actually did it with a detached retina because my retina decided to detach on the second last day of my Christmas market last year. And my poor husband had to go and run my Christmas market for the very last day, which was comical. He's a great big burly, yeah, like Angie says here, I wouldn't rip it out. Just sew more slowly to make sure that both layers catch. Live and learn is right. It'll be fine. Like I said, Tina, we'll try to get you so you can get the bottom and the top together. You're just, depends on the width of your zigzag and everything. But you could put a second stitch through the tube if you wanted to right from the start. See how it goes. It'll be easier to rip out a couple of rows of the zigzag if things aren't working out than it will be to rip out that entire rug. That just seems like an excessive to me, and I think to Angie as well. Alrighty, here we're going and we're going and we're going and we're going. If you don't have the Clover tube maker, it's crazy cool. I absolutely recommend getting one. I have a longer form video for how to use it on the channel here where I do like a close-up of it if you guys want to check that out. I do have some pretty good tips for it. But the thing with it is to keep the fabric in the middle, hold it down with your thumb, then pull one end, then the other end. Make sure everything's laying flat and then go again. When you have one of these like Singer machines, they go through this like pretty quick. And they're affordable machines. So I don't believe in spending, $15,000 on a sewing machine that's got a computer in it, just so I can beat the crap out of it with fabric and batting. A little bit of this and a little bit of that. Hello. I've got that tool to make the strips. It's such a good tool, isn't it? That's a good idea. Or just use a wider zigzag for this one time. Yeah. The thing, Angie, like with my zigzag is that only zigzag's so wide, which is I don't know if different machines zigzag wider than this one. But this one, I have to sew the tube pretty close to the edge, or I can have a few mistakes in it. And mistakes, they're not really mistakes. I just flip the rug over and tack it down. But you don't want to be tacking down a whole entire rug, that's for sure. Oh, and a little bit of this, and that says I have a Singer 4411. Yeah, it's a great machine, isn't it? I think that Singer, I think I'll tag them in this video. And maybe see if they'll sponsor me one day. Okay, you guys, if you want really cool jelly rolls, there's a store called Connecting Threads. I will have a link in the video description. It's separate from my Amazon link. I'm an affiliate for them. And if you purchase fabric from them, I think I get like 7%, something like that. They ship to Canada and the United States, and they have pretty good fabric. I've made a couple of videos here on my channel with their fabric as well. It's pretty sweet. And you can also find some sales on. And one thing I do know today, I'm not affiliated with them at all, but I did get an email from Missouri Star Quilting this morning. And they have fabric, the 2.5-inch strips on sale right now. So if you're looking for some fabric to do a project like this, head on over there and get it shipped to your house. I'm going to try my hand at making a rug, a little bit of this. Hi, Olive. How are you? Where are you from? And where is a little bit of this and that from? Welcome to the channel. How many of you are new here? If you're new, type new. Let's see who's new and where are you from? I'm from Calgary, Alberta, Canada. We've got somebody here from the UK. We've got somebody here, oh, where did they say? From Iraq right now. And there's, I don't know, 27 people watching. That's crazy. Oh, Tina, you're new. Have you subscribed, Tina? A little bit of this and that. Virginia and new. Well, hit that subscribe button, you guys, if you like stuff like this, and I will try to do more. And I also think it's fun, like, you come back to a live video, you know, a week or two from now, and you see somebody that was already here. It's crazy. I love YouTube for this. I was such a nervous person. Like, when I did my very first video, I probably could have crapped my pants. I was so bloody nervous. And now I'm years into it, and I've got 6,200 subscribers, and we're actually, you know, having some bloody fun for a change. Because when you turn on the news, it is not fun. I made that mistake last night. That's for sure. What a terrible state of affairs things are in. Okay. Was this bobbin done? Maybe. I don't know. But it was pulling, so I'm pulling it out. This probably could have gone for a minute here. Hang on. Why was it pulling? It wasn't because it was empty. It's now... Oh, it's just wound over here wrong. Okay, I got it now. Probably should have checked that before I wound all that off, but live and learn. Live and learn. Oh, yes, I've subscribed. She has a lot to learn. Well, ask questions, Tina. We're here to help. I bet you there's some people on here that know more than I do. And Angie, I'm not new. I've subscribed and enjoyed your videos. This is my first live, though. I haven't made a rug yet, but I plan to soon. Well, that's fantastic, Angie. Welcome back. I haven't done a lot of lives. Like, I did a couple years ago, I did a couple lives. And then last week I did a live. I just wasn't feeling like making a long-form video. But you know how YouTube works. You have to have a little bit of this on there, right? You have to have a, you know, content that comes on so that they keep helping you grow your channel. A little bit of this and that has just subscribed. I have done videos a long time ago thinking about starting again. Yeah, there's a lot to do with videos here. I do teach a lot on my channel. Like, not just the sewing stuff. I teach the YouTube stuff too. And in 3 weeks from now, I will have a big, huge launch of something. I don't want to spill the tea as to what it is yet because it's in the works. But I think some of you are going to find it very, very, very helpful. So subscribe to the channel, and when it goes live, I will spill the tea. Be like, hey, you guys, this is what happened. So years ago, my auntie helped me with this project, and I've been making them ever since. And the first time I knew that this was going to be, you know, a thing that I did, I made 3 of these rugs, and we have 3 bathrooms in our house. and we had a party. Excuse me, I'm very dry. So we had a party, and my guests were coming out of the bathroom with these like rugs rolled up, stuck under their arms. And I thought to myself, oh, I might be onto something. I might be onto something. So I started very slowly, and I could only buy, you know, a meter of fabric of this color, a meter of that color, a meter of this color. Like, it was absolutely crazy. Back and forth to the store, back and forth to the store a billion times. And then I started getting bigger. I started a Shopify store, which I highly recommend if you're doing crafts. Just do it on Shopify. And I started going to bigger craft markets and documenting my stuff, like taking pictures of it. And that allowed me to apply for bigger craft markets, because then I had like a proof of my booth and what I was capable of doing. And it just started growing from there. And I'm able now, I have, you know, commercial accounts where I purchase fabric from. When you come and see me at Christmas markets this year, if you do come and see me at Christmas markets, I will actually have the supplies for this for sale for the first time, because I've always just made products, but this year I'm going to sell the supplies. So I'm pre-ordering, you know, thousands of dollars worth of material, which, to be fair, I'm either going to sell it at the market or I'm going to use it next year to sew. So you need supplies. Yeah, it just kept growing and growing and growing from there. I have a pretty big Pinterest account. I don't do too much on Instagram and Facebook. I'm kind of like, you guys suck. Wah. The amount of effort it takes to put something onto Facebook or Instagram is hardly worth my time. So if you see something on there, it's repurposed content from someplace else that I've put it. That's a fact. They don't pay. And you know, you can spend your whole time as like a person that makes stuff, making content. But if it doesn't have some value for me, like return value, like ROI, return on investment, I'm not interested in playing their silly games. Like, I can put a reel onto Facebook and it'll get 27 views total, and it just disappears into nowhere. I can put that same reel onto YouTube and as a short, and it gets played over and over and over and over again, and it's searchable. So that's where I choose to spend my time. I'm making money off of YouTube now, thank God. And it's starting to pay off. So it's kind of fantastic. Kind of fantastic. In February, I got monetized on YouTube. I do have some how much money I'm making on YouTube videos out there, which is kind of cool. And the even cooler part is I haven't spent a penny of my YouTube income. I have set up an account where I invest it in NVIDIA stock, and then I document that on my channel here. So, you know, I'm not making huge amounts of money yet, but I am making some. And I want to be very responsible with my money, and I want to retire one day. So the best way to do that is to not overspend and to reinvest in yourself. So in Canada, we have this tax-free savings account, and on this app called Wealth Simple. You can set it up on your phone, link it up to your bank account, and invest in any stock that you want. So I will put my friends link. If you sign up to Wealth Simple, you can get your own friends link. And I think they give you money when you sign up under my link. I'm not sure how much, but it'll be in the comments here if you guys want to try buying stock. I buy NVIDIA. YNVD is the call sign for it. It's an EFT stock. That's just what I put my YouTube money into. I have other things, but what I document here on my channel is earning money on YouTube and then investing it into this NVIDIA stock. Mi Art Studio, Sirmir said hi. Hello, bonjour, comment ça va? I think they're French. If they're Spanish, hola, ¿cómo estás? Oh, what did she say? The job I had went bankrupt, so I'm looking for doing shows for a while. Oh, so you were working and the company you were working for went bankrupt, is that correct? And now you're going to do some crafting, is that correct? So fun fact about me, I do dabble around in some different languages, which is super fun. So I took French till grade 9, and I can understand, I can't speak it very fluently anymore, but I can understand what people are saying and I can read it. And then I do work on my Spanish. A couple of years ago, I was way better at it, but my husband got really sick with colon cancer and we haven't been traveling very much. So I kind of let that fall off the wayside as we were getting him through that, but he is a little bit better now. Oh, it was a fabric store that you worked at. Well, did you get any fabric on your way out the door? Because that would be the best part, right? That sucks so bad. So what are you going to do for craft shows? Are you going to sew? I'm assuming so. All right, you guys. If you're new here, we're sewing a fabric rug. This is the tube portion of the rug. It's going to be 40 strips of 100% quilt cotton and Pelon batting as the inside. And right now we're sewing the tube, which is kind of frankly the boring part. So this is why we're all engaging on the channel. Oh yes, you have lots of fabric. So I've got lots of tutorials on this channel. Go ahead and steal some stuff, steal it, and make yourself some products. My products sell. If you get yourself into the right markets and you have mix and match products, you'll do much better. Oh, look at that. We did run out of bobbin thread. You guys are supposed to tell me when this happened, but we ran out of bobbin thread. We weren't watching. All right. Well, we'll sew those 2 feet over again. Okay. I do have a bunch of little bobbins here that I'd like to use up. They were remnants here from my embroidery machine. So I embroider these reindeer Christmas ornaments, and of course the machine prefers to have a very full bobbin for that. So when I'm done, I take that bobbin out and I stack it up here for rugs, and then I just use whatever's left on the bobbin for this portion of my rugs. So we're going to change the bobbin here a few times as we use up this thread. Pretty quick. Who do we have left here? Who's new? If you're new here, you guys, say hello. We've got Tina here for sure. We've got a little bit of this, a little bit of that. She's still here. Who are some of the original watchers? Are you guys still hanging in? We're sewing a fabric rug. It's going to be 40 strips of red 100% quilt cotton. And right now we're sewing the tube. And as soon as we're done sewing the tube, we are going to sew the actual rug, the round and round and round and round part. So we're staying here till the bitter end. Oh, a little bit of this and a little bit. I usually play thread chicken too. On this project, it doesn't matter so much because you'll see it coming out the side here and it's not closed. So you know for sure you've missed the bobbin ending. But you know what? Everything's expensive for sewing. So I try to get every penny out of whatever I'm doing. I'm sure you feel the same way. Like, why are we wasting material here? And I'm just going to cut off a couple tiny little threads while I see them, because this will be easier for the next step. So that's where I joined the thread that time. You'll see them sticking out in your pile here like a sore thumb when you get to a certain point. So if you see them, just clip them off. Trust me, it'll be easier for the next step. You'll be able to keep going. Yeah, chicken thread. Or thread chicken. Was a thread chicken, I think it was, so that she said there. I'm assuming it's a she. A little bit of this and a little bit of that. Oh my goodness. Sometimes these projects feel like they're taking forever. I started at, I think it was 9:25, right guys? Correct me if I'm wrong, but it was 9:25 when we started the live. Then we fixed the camera up a little bit because it was a little bit cattywonker at the beginning of this. And now we're just going like heck on the tube. And once we're done the tube, we're going to do the round and round. Oh, it's Jane. Hi, Jane. A little bit of this. Yes, Jane. It doesn't, it's hard when you guys don't have your names on your actual profiles, and I get it, right? Like we don't, everybody doesn't need to know everything about you if that's what you're comfortable with. I do have a business, so I use my name all the time. I'm kind of to the point of like 99% of the people in the world are good, and the other 1%, you just like metaphorically pop them one and move on with life. So, and since I discovered that little trick, Booba Izzy, where are you from? That's a crazy name. Is that your real name? That's crazy. How fun is that? That's so fun. Everybody say hello. We're going to find out where they're from. They're going to tell us. We've got somebody here from Iraq, somebody here from the UK. I'm from Calgary, Alberta, Canada. We've got somebody here from Winnipeg. Lisa, hope she's still here. Hello, if you're still here. And we are sewing a fabric rug. So I'll tell you guys a little story about my last year's Christmas markets, because it was absolutely, I think one of the worst years of our lives. Womp womp. My husband got colon cancer, and then last spring he had to get a stoma bag put on. The surgery went terribly wrong. He ended up aspirating vomit, and he ended up in a coma. And he was there for like a long time. He was in the hospital for over a month. He got very, 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 very sick. He had pneumonia. He had E. coli. He had pulmonary embolisms. It was absolutely atrocious. I was not a happy camper. And then just the stress. I'm sure you can all imagine the stress that is associated with that. And so he didn't work all last year. And I wasn't sure if he was ever going to be able to work because, wow, it was a lot. And so I had hired staff, and I worked every minute of the day that I could up until these Christmas markets, making my stuff, making YouTube videos, like whatever I had to do to get us through it, because I was like, well, if he goes under, like, yeah, it sucked. Oh my gosh, I'm not even kidding. It sucks so bad, you guys. You have, like, don't do it. On, like, if I was gonna get colon cancer stars, it would be no stars. Like, on the 5-star ranking, no stars whatsoever. It's absolutely atrocious. So he really suffered, and I just worked my butt off because I was like, I don't know what we're gonna do. And like, we're okay for money, but you're only okay for money for a little while. You can't go for forever without making some money when you're not at retirement age. You got to make some money. So I'm like, well, I'm going to give it my all. Like, I'm going to, you know, put some stink on this and, like, let's go, right? And so I did, and I worked like every bloody minute of the day that I wasn't at the hospital. And, you know, got to Christmas markets and got all set up. And it was like, it was even hard for him to help me, like, put things in my car. Like, he was so sick. And he's, like, he's a big guy. He's a big, muscular, worked construction his whole life. Like, I'm a big girl, but he could pick me up and like spin me around on one finger. He was so strong and tough, and you know, 6'2". Yeah, he's chubby, but he's, you know, really strong guy. So anyway, this just knocked him on his butt. So got to the Christmas markets, and I wasn't even excited. I was just like, I just need to get through this. This is crazy. I've had the worst year. It was like the whole year. Like, we even tried to take a trip right before his surgery. We went to Punta Cana, and we had such a freaking fiasco with WestJet. We ended up having to change hotels 5 times before we even flew out, because of a hotel getting closed for a renovation, and then another hotel didn't have space for us, and then another hotel had a serious outbreak of that, I don't know what that virus is called that they often get in those tropical places, like kind of like a norovirus. Anyway, people were desperately ill, and it was all over Facebook, so I was fighting with WestJet. Then they going to try to send us to a crappy hotel. I said, no way, I'm going to call a lawyer. Anyway, it was 5 hotel changes before we got there. We didn't even know we were going until the night before. So we were leaving on Friday at 8 p.m. And we found out Thursday at 8 p.m. where we were going. So even our... oh, excuse me. Oh, I'm so sorry, you guys. I'm so sorry. Let me just take a sip here. So sorry. So anyway, even our trip that we took to like relax before his big surgery was just bad. And he was so sick anyway, we didn't get to go anywhere other than the pool, which, to be honest, I'm grateful for. I don't want it to come off as I'm not grateful. But he is doing much better now. So anyways, got to the Christmas markets, got set up. I was just running on zero, and, you know, had done everything I could to get myself there. Did the first couple weeks of Christmas markets, got my sales, got my stuff home, regrouped to set up for the second week, went and did the second week, and on the weekend, the weekend after that, so the very last weekend I had Christmas markets, they're like Friday, Saturday, Sunday. On the Saturday, I woke up and I had a terrible headache. Didn't know why. I'm like, I can't even deal with this right now. I've got to go to the market, because if you don't show up, you'll never get back in. It's terrible. But I showed up out there, and as I was driving out there, I was like, there's something like really wrong with my eyeball. So I had a previous injury to the eye, so I knew like to check, you know, online and stuff. And essentially what I did to check was I brought my fingers down to my eye level, and this eye, I couldn't see my finger until it was like here. But this eye, I could see my finger when it was up here. So I was like, uh-oh, something's wrong. Like, I've lost all this part of my vision. So I just kind of started Googling some stuff, and everything I Googled, like in between customers, right? Everything I Googled was like, detached retina, go to the hospital. Detached retina, go to the hospital. So I talked to my husband, and he's like, how's your day going? And I'm like, oh, it's okay. Sales are okay. But I really think I have a detached retina. And he's like, oh my gosh, what do you want me to do? And I'm like, I'm just going to like be as slow as possible out here, because, you know, it's my last weekend of Christmas markets. I can't do anything else, like to sell more. So I'm going to just go really slow, take my time, not lift on anything heavy, all the, you know, responsible things. And I said, when I get out of here, I'm going to come home, I'm going to have a shower, and I'm going to eat. And then I want you to take me to the hospital, because if you go to a hospital in our country and you haven't ate or had a shower, you could be there for days before they even get you through the ER, just because our healthcare system it's really good when you're really sick, But if you don't have something that's just like dire, you got to wait because there's so many other people that are sick. So I kind of knew I was going to need a minute that day to, what is going on here? My thread is buggered up in here. I hope I didn't just screw it up for eternity. Anyway, they finally got me in and saw and essentially said, oh yeah, you got a detached retina. I was like, that sucks. So they said, go home and sleep for a few hours and then come back in the morning because they didn't have a bed for me anyway. And then they will get me in a bed and get me into surgery, which meant I couldn't go do my market. So this is like 2 o'clock in the morning. We got out of the, something's wrong here, you guys. I got to fix this. Something's stuck in my machine. 2 o'clock in the morning when they sent me home to, you know, have a nap because they didn't have a bed. And well, I guess to be fair, it was 2 o'clock in the morning when we finally got to sleep. But anyway, we're driving home and my husband's flipping out because he's like, oh my God, how am I going to run your market? And I said, well, I'm going to make you a bunch of cheat sheets and you're just going to do it because we don't have an option. So basically all he has to do is like stand there and take money, right? And I said, don't worry about it. There'll be somebody else there that knows what they're doing as far as the, like the till is concerned, because I run a Shopify app on my phone, right? I'm like, there's other people there that have Shopify. They stand close by like all these other vendors. Just go ask. Most of them are girls. They're going to help you out. Don't worry. Like, you can't do anything wrong. And also, it's like the last day of the market. I said, I don't care how you sell it because I'm going to have to do inventory afterwards anyway. So, doesn't matter. Like, if you sell a soup bowl cozy and somebody buys two and there's two different colors, just ring in the one. The colors aren't going to matter because I'm going to have to do the inventory. So anyway, he went and did that. And our friends went and took my booth down the day afterwards, which was awesome, and came and dumped everything on my living basement floor in my house, which was awesome. And then my detached retina, where it was detached, I actually had to lay with my face perfectly facing the ground for 12 entire days. Like, I couldn't lift my head up for anything. Not for eating, not for drinking, not for showering, like nothing. I had to be like looking directly at the floor because they fix it and they put this big gas bubble in it and it needs to stay in the back of the eye. And just depending on where you have a detached retina, you might have to face up for 12 days. You might have to sit like this for 12 days. But mine was I had to face the floor. So we rented some medical equipment to help us out with that. And then I was off for a couple of months. And honestly, kind of feeling pretty sorry for ourselves around here. It was kind of crazy. And then I was able to get up and moving a little bit. And I had 2 weeks to kind of try to gain some strength back from, you know, basically being immobilized for a couple of months, like 12 days facing the floor. But even after that, you can't do much for a couple of months while your eye's healing. And then, like I say, I had a couple of weeks where I kind of got my crap together and, you know, started walking around my house and stuff. And then my husband went back into the hospital for the reversal surgery. You can look up colon cancer and how that works if you want to, but he had a bag and then they were taking it off. And again, everything seemed to go well. And the surgery did not actually go well, and he ended up with perforated bowel. They sent him home, and we didn't know he had a perforated bowel until he was home for like a day and a half, and then his stomach blew up to like this big. It's crazy. Called an ambulance. Then he had all other kinds of complications. Just absolutely crazy. He ended up being in the hospital again for a month. We're like, this is ridiculous. Like, this is just too much last year. Too much. Too much, I say. Too many things. So now, last week, he got the all clear on a colonoscopy, which is good. And my eye has healed, which is good. And he's back at work, doing more supervisory stuff, also good. And we recently got some e-bikes so we can go out and have some actual fun. Because he's not strong enough, I don't think, to like ride a bike as far as we would like to go. So we got some e-bikes and have been able to do some fun things around here. So this year, it's July, I don't know what day it is, 25th or something now. This year, I'm actually excited to do the Christmas markets, which start the first weekend of November. So it's not even that far away. I've got, well, July's basically toast, right? August, September, October to make whatever else I need for the markets. So I'm going to sit here and sew and sew and sew and sew and sew and chat to people on the internet. Has anybody got stuff to say? Oh, yes, my poor hubby. It was terrible. You have no idea. And a little bit of this, that's Jane. Yeah, it was terrible. Absolutely freaking terrible. It's 11:30 here. Who was saying that? I missed who said that. Sorry, guys. I was babbling and sewing. But I think, too, like, when you go through stuff like that, it's important to, like, get it out. And, you know, I have a pretty public YouTube channel. So, you know, I got a couple of messages from people like, are you okay? Like, where are you? I'm like, I'm not really okay, but I'm okay now. Traumatizing for sure. Not a fan of the doctor. Had words with him on several occasions. Don't care. I'm, you know, if you go to a hospital, take somebody with you to advocate because you're just too damn sick. And they'll just walk over you if they can. They're like, oh, no, it's nothing. It's like, well, actually, he's blue, so maybe we could sort that out. Doesn't have an airway. Yeah, crazy. Absolutely bananas. Time. How many have we got to go? We probably got about 8 more lengths of this to go. Thanks for sticking with me, you guys. If you're new here, that was a whole bunch of rambling about our health stuff this last year. But I'm Jolene. I'm from Calgary, Alberta, Canada. We are sewing a fabric strip rug. It's 100% cotton. We're making it with 40 strips. They've already been mitered together. And right now we are using the Clover tube maker to put the batting onto the fabric and then sew it into the tube like this. And once we're done that, we're going to sew the rug round and round and round from the center out. So this fabric is Ruby Days. It's 40 Karat Gems by Wilmington Prince. I just bought 8 packages so I could make 8 rugs like this with this fabric. We'll see if I make 8 or if I want to take a whole bunch of these packages of fabric to the Christmas market with me so that people can purchase the fabric themselves as well. And of course, because I can buy it wholesale, that really helps. I've thought about selling more, like having all kinds of supplies on my website and whatnot. I don't know. It's kind of, you kind of toss around like, is it worth it to have to be home for orders all the time? Or is it better to go into these huge markets and get stuff sold? So like I do sell all of these products are available on my website. If you want to check it out, it's Home Stitchery Decor. You can check out all the other, there's like long, sorry, my nose is super itchy right now. Long playlists here on the channel here too, where I teach essentially all the products that I make if you want to make some stuff. And then in the videos, in the first comment and the video description, I share all the links that I use to make the products. And if you shop through a link, that's how I get paid. They're affiliate links, most of them. Some of them aren't. But I tell you about all the cool products and how to have a business and whatnot. And then I earn small commissions if you go and buy some fabric, and then that helps me, you know, with my business, right? So we're not super rich or anything like that. We're just trying to get by, and I freaking love YouTube for it. It's absolutely crazy. When I started this channel, I was like, oh, this is going to take forever. And now I've got 6,200 subscribers. I'm earning some coin here on YouTube monthly, and it's all because of viewers. Literally, I couldn't do this without viewers. So if you leave a comment, if you leave a thumbs up, if you subscribe to the channel, all of that, like every other YouTuber will tell you, it helps us pay our bills, and you know, we're human beings. I really appreciate it. I'm going to tell you guys a couple of the channels that I love to watch, because when I'm in my sewing studio, I watch other people's YouTube videos. I think it's great. I think it's a good way for me to like support other people's channels and journeys and stuff. So there's a channel called Silver and Solo, and it's this lady out of, I believe it's British Columbia, Canada, and it's an older lady. Her name's Jen, and she tells you all kinds of things about her life and about being single as an older person, and she's single by choice, and she gives you tips and tricks for things, and she's kind of fun. She's fun to watch. So she just recently hit 100,000 subscribers. I'm so stinking proud of her, which means she's doing pretty good on YouTube. And it's kind of fun. Like, she doesn't talk about anything too serious. She just talks about her life and her experiences. And yeah, she's kind of inspiring. So I'm watching her channel for that. What's that other one that I was just watching this morning? Angela Jasmine. Does anybody know her? She's got about 300,000 subscribers, and she does embroidery, and she does it on TikTok. She does it on her YouTube channel, and she's out of the United States. She does like sweatshirts and baby onesies and stuff. So she has a bunch of products that are for sale right on her website, and she has I believe an Etsy store as well. So she's kind of fun. Some of the bigger ones that I watch everything Chris Williamson from Modern Wisdom puts out. I either watch it on my YouTube channel or on my YouTube, like on TV, or I listen to him while I'm walking, because I have a thing for walking. I try to do about 5 kilometers a day. And he has the most interesting, thoughtful, oh yeah, yes, Angela is awesome. Isn't she awesome? She really is awesome. I mean, good for her. Just a young girl too, right? Like, got a kid, doing her thing. I think, like, even at her business, she'll tell you, you know, absolutely everything's happening. Like, one of her videos last year was like, the crap hit the fan, and I've got to move my office, and now she's recently moved it again and hired some more staff, and she's crazy. She's so cool. And she just does it. She just gets on there and she videotapes her stuff and puts it out there, and I think she's, you know, she's relatable. People like her a lot. So there's her, Chris Williamson is like a thought-provoking guy, right? Like, he interviews Naval Ravikant, Joe Rogan, Alex Hormozy, Mel Robbins. He talks to scientists, psychologists, musicians, authors, business coaches. I cannot live without his podcast. I listen to him either, like I say, on YouTube, like in my office, or while I'm walking. He's in my ear all the time. He just has the most fascinating people on his podcast. So I just absolutely love it. He's a Brit that has moved to the United States. I think he did a TED Talk, and he will have like live shows this year too, like where you can go see him at a stadium. Who do we love watching? Lisa Campen? Who's that? Who is that? Tell me what channel she is. I'll give her some love. I'll put her channel on and have a watch. And I feel like that's important too. Like, just because I'm a YouTuber doesn't mean I can't go and watch other people's channels. I don't have to be looking at the television all day. I can have it playing in the background. I just like learning things. So, who is this Lisa Makes Quilts. Oh, yes. I thought I saw her one night. And then the other one that I really like was, I don't know if she's still doing stuff. I haven't watched her in a while. The Midnight Quilter. Has anybody watched her? She was super fun. She always had like a glass of wine with her, which was crazy. And I'm not going to lie, there might be a little something something in this coffee cup. Lisa Capping Quilts. I'm going to have to try to remember that. I don't want to write it down right now because I'm, trying to get through sewing these strips so we can move on with this video. I can't believe how many of you guys are still here. It's crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. So these rugs are either going to make you laugh or they're going to make you cry. And I hope they make you cry happy tears, but that's not how it started for me. They are 100% washable in the washing machine. So I wash my rugs on gentle in lukewarm water, and then I either hang them to dry or I dry them in the dryer on low. And I pull them out when they're about 3/4 dry, and then I just lay them flat on the floor. You definitely don't want all of this cotton that gets fun. Yeah, she is fun, hey? The Midnight Quilter. She was fun. Is she still on there? I'm going to have to go check after this. I haven't watched her in a while. It's like a thing, right? Like you start watching something and you watch all of it, and then you find something else and you move on and you start tuning into somebody else that day. But yeah, she was fun. Who else do we love? Anybody else got some suggestions for some good YouTube channels that we could show some love to? Okay, you guys, one of the other things I'm going to link in the video description. I just made a video about doing this. It doesn't have very many views because I'm sure it's not going to be very popular. Like, it's not something that would be like actually searched. But a couple of years ago, I came across this platform called Kiva, which is Kiva. And it is a site that helps underserved people get microloans. So they do have some people with loans out of the United States, but I've chosen to support somebody that has a sewing business that's in an underdeveloped country. And how the microloans work is you put in a dollar amount. I put in $57 American, so $50 for the microloan, and what was it? $57.50 American. So I put in $50 for the microloan, and I put in $7.50 to help the platform with the transaction fee for that. And I've lent money to this lady that was needed supplies for her own sewing business. I can't even remember what country she was in. Colombia, I think. Anyway, so Kiva, what happens is you can sign on there and you can make a small donation to make a microloan. The people that apply for the microloan are vetted by the site, and once their loan is fulfilled, they pay it back. And then you get your money back and you can reloan that money to another person. I feel like I'm out of bobbin thread. I am. Sorry, guys. Anyways, I think it's important as a, responsible human being to give back. And some of these people don't have, who do we got here? The Midnight Quilter is Angela Walters. Love her. Yes. Quilting is my therapy. She is very good. Yeah, I love her. Angela. That's right. That's her name. So anyway, Kiva, they often give loans to people that are in countries that don't even have a loaning system. So they don't have banks. So they can't really grow their businesses because they don't have a debit card. They can't go apply for a loan or a mortgage or anything like that. So it's a small amount of money. Like, it's not no money to me. I mean, that's, half our grocery bill for a week. But it's not, life-altering money for me. I can eat, a couple grilled cheese sandwiches and cover that off for the week. I had grilled cheese sandwiches last night. So I did make this loan, and then you don't have to loan the person all of the money that they request. So say they request $500 and they can get like, you know, a whole bunch of people to put in $25 on their loan. And then once it's fulfilled, they have a certain amount of time to pay the loan back, and then the money will go back into your like account and you can reloan it to somebody else. So I made a team on there for home stitchery decor. I will put the link in the video description, and if anybody wants to join the team or even do it on your own, go ahead and look into it. You can start like even with a monthly donation of like $5, and then they allocate that money across the platform. And I thought it would be something cool to do, and I also chose to do it for another lady that's in the same industry as I am, but definitely doesn't have the same opportunities that I do. So I felt it was, you know, time. I could do something kind of for somebody else. Just do something for somebody else. Nothing feels as good as doing something for somebody else. Nothing. Never felt better in my life than I do when I'm trying to help somebody else. And maybe that's why I like YouTube, because technically we're helping somebody else out here. We're teaching somebody how to sew a project. I swear to you, this tube is almost done. We have like this much left to go. That's it. Ah, that's it. That's it. Okay. If you're new here, say hello so we can get to know you. We've got Tina. We've got Jane. Who else is still here? Angie. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. We're sewing this with 100% cotton fabric, 100% cotton batting with scrim. This is a Singer Heavy Duty 4452. The needle is a Schmetz 116 jeans needle. Although I've heard that the purple Janome needle is good as well. There will be my Amazon shopping list in the video description and first comment for anybody that needs the supplies or wants to take a peek at what I'm using. Go ahead and have a look. The thread is a 40 weight polyester thread, which is actually technically an embroidery thread, and we're using the Clover tube maker. And that is how we are sewing the tube here. And I do have long form videos where they're not, excuse me, not live sewing, but just like the actual tutorial for how to make the rug start to finish and how to use the tube maker start to finish. So go ahead and watch some of that other content. And then I make all kinds of other mix and match products and have tutorials for them on this channel. Okay, so who's here? What color thread would you use for fabrics that are different colors? Okay, so gray or taupe all the time. Like if you've got blues fabrics, I use blues. But if you've got all kinds of different colors, I use a nice light taupe or a nice light gray. So pull them up and see which one it kind of goes with the tones. Because like, even though this is a red rug, there's so many different tones of red, right? So I'm using this deeper red color, but I can't reach it right now. But I do have like a different red that is more like a candied red, whereas this one is more of a burgundy red. But yeah, I've made over 1,500 rugs. They are for sale on my website. If you guys want to purchase a rug, I ship to Canada and the United States. And I do all kinds of Christmas markets. I'm just telling you guys this if you're new here, because the live viewers come and go. They sign on for a while and then they go someplace else and then they come back. And then, yeah, that's how it works here on YouTube. So great. Thank you, Tina. You're welcome. You're welcome. I would use a taupe. Okay, so for the end here, I've just cut the batting to a point. And when you do watch the actual step-by-step tutorial, I will walk you through this entire step for how to get this taper end with like an actual close-up of the camera and everything for you guys. So that video, after this one goes live, it takes a few hours for like YouTube to like do all the back end checking it and everything. And then I should be able to link a couple videos to the end of this one. But you can also just type in ultimate jelly roll and you'll see a thumbnail that has 4 jelly rolls on it. That's my video. It's got over 42,000 views on it right now. And that's the video where I walk you through each and every step and have close-ups of the sewing machine. And this video today, we're just doing a live. Okay, so that's it. We did it. There is the tapered end of the fabric. We're going to put all of our stuff to the side here. We're going to toss this in a bin. We're going to hope our thread doesn't run out. And we're going to get sewing. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to have a quick boo. And if I've got a couple of little threads anywhere, which can happen from the batting, sewing the batting in, because I didn't use, I use batting that I cut myself. So it gets joined together, and sometimes a little thread will pop out, like this one's white. That's from the zigzag where I joined the batting strips. I butt them up together. So we'll get rid of that. And a couple little threads here. Little threads here. What else have we got going on, you guys? Hello from Mexico. Where are you from in Mexico? Maybe we'll all come visit. I love Mexico. I have been to a few places in Mexico. Likely not as many as you, because you're from there. But hola, ¿cómo estás? Hola. Okay, got all our little, I say all, but you know, you'll find more. Just clip, 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 clip as you find them or see them. If you do this at this stage, it's way easier. Nothing's perfect. Let's just go with it. Okay, so I've got my whole thing. I'm going to toss it into the basket. It's just a laundry basket that I'm using today. Now what we're going to do is we've got one strip here is going to be the starting strip. I've got a piece of thread here. Didn't want to snap off. Okay, so there's the first strip, and then you're going to see a color change. Essentially what I do is I have the folded edge to the left of me. I have the next folded edge to the left as well, so it's actually going to butt up against the soft curve of the fabric. And I'm just going to fold it in 3 and then fold it again and see if it lines up. And if it doesn't line up, I'm going to redo this fold at the start because I want the center of this just to be this first color. And I explain this, like I say, in a lot more detail in that very first video. But here we'll just wing it a couple of times, get it folded, get it around, and get sewing. Okay, so now we can see it's pretty well perfect. And we'll just come to the back. So when you start sewing, you need your folded edge to the left. You need your second folded edge to the left. This is a soft edge. This is a soft edge. And this is going to be the outer edge of the rug. And so when you're done the rug, you want the outer edge to be, in my opinion, this soft edge. So what we're going to do is we're going to start from about 1.5 inches down. We're going to set our machine to zigzag to the widest width. To the length is going to be 4. We're going to start 1.5 inches down, and we're going to zigzag back. Now, the reason I do that is because I don't want a whole bunch of overlap. We're going to zigzag back. So, who is still here? Tina, great, thank you. Tina, in a minute here, I'm going to show you the bottom edge like I'm talking about, right? Where you were telling us about your, that you'd sewed the straight line in the middle of the fabric. So when we get to the first corner, squish the inside of the fabric. So you're just giving it like a little pucker on the inside, and then the outside will lay flat. Look at that, I ran out of bobbin thread. Right at the start. Oh, dang it. And we have to use this, these little things of bobbin thread because we might actually run out of thread here today. And I definitely don't want to run out of thread. That would be a heck no. I don't have another one of these in my drawer. So I'm going to use up all these little spools that I had left over, as I explained, from my embroidery project. Okay, when I start the zigzag again, I always put my width to 0 for just a few stitches. So go back and forth a couple of times. This way you won't have like a whole big glob of zigzag stitches. You will have a small little where you've started the thread again. Now, when we come around the first corner, you need to push the fabric on the inside so it lays flat on the outside. You're just making a gather. And this is the hardest part of the sewing. And if you really, really need help with this very first part, watch that other tutorial and watch it and rewind it, until you get around these first few corners. Because if you don't start this flat, it will never be flat. So get it flat as possible. Cut off your threads as you go so you don't have a big mess. Okay, I'm going to just check the time here, you guys. We started this at 9:35 or 9:25 here on my, and now it's 11:06. So that's pretty good with me chatting. You want no tension on this feeding in. You want the fabric to feed in evenly. So do not push or pull this in any direction. We're just going to use a wide zigzag. Go slow at the corner. Tina, you're going to have to go slow on all of this. The slower you go, the better luck you will have catching that other thread. So what I'm doing here is I'm, where the fabric is coming in, I'm pushing a tiny little bit on the inside of it, making sure it's got a little bit of a gather so that the outside has more give and the outside will lay flat. This is the only time you want to push or pull the fabric, is these first very few tight corners at the front or at the start of the rug. You need to make sure you get things flat. And as you can see, this is pretty flat. You want this flat, flat, flat. So you just, as you're feeding it in, push this tiny little bit so you got a little bit of a pucker on the inside. And as you pucker it, the outside will lay down. Now, bear in mind, you guys, like I said, this used to take me, 3 or 4 days to make a rug. And now we're doing it in a couple of hours. Now, I know what you're going to ask. This rug sells for $145 Canadian. And I know what you're going to ask. Why is it so inexpensive? It is so inexpensive because I make multiple products here in my studio at the same time. So typically when I am sewing the tube, which we just did, I will be doing super cozies on this machine and sewing on 2 machines at the same time. I will also have my embroidery machine behind me making my Christmas ornaments. And I will have my Cricut machine running, which is like over in this direction. We'll either be making my mandala art or cutting out cards. And then I get up in between each project and I, change the paper for the Cricut machine or change the embroidery machine around. So when I'm done at the end of the day, I have multiple products that I've made in here. And that's how I can keep my pricing so affordable. I've seen these rugs as much as $200 American. And if people are willing to pay that and they're willing to pay you for it, I say go you, but that's not what I'm going to do. And I have a lot of repeat customers that are very, very happy. So, just found your channel, SEW. Well, hello, so that's exciting. Where are you from? And if you're new here, you guys, make sure to subscribe to the channel so I can grow and do more fun things. And also, if you're new here, I have videos on the channel. If you go and look at my main channel, any of the videos that have like presents on them, they're little gold presents on the thumbnail, those are my giveaway videos. And some of those videos still need some comments on them in order to trigger the giveaway. A couple of them, we've done the giveaway already. So if you watch the video, it explains all the rules for how to get in on the giveaways. But I do them because it's fun and I can. So as you can see, this is laying pretty flat. I've got a tiny little curve here. So what I'm going to do when I come around this outside is I'm not going to push the next piece of fabric as tight to this one little spot. I'm just going to let it out just a wee little bit to fix that because you don't want a kidney shaped rug. So if you just go slow, you know, even 1/8 of an inch can make a difference on that. So we're just gonna slow it down a little bit and not squish this fabric that I'm feeding in quite as tight. And then that should fix the kidney shape right away. You never know with this fabric either, or with any fabric, like how it's gonna sew exactly. This seems to be going pretty well, but some fabric, it's sticky and your needle will miss stitches. Always make sure to clean out your bobbin and everything. Hello, I just found your channel. We'll be binge watching from Cali. I'm assuming that's California. Is that California, Rose? Tell us where you're from, Rose. Thank you to everyone that binge watches. That's how I have, that's how I do the giveaways, right? Like I make a little money here on my YouTube channel and then I give things away because it's fun. And in my videos, like there's all the rules and explanations for how you can win. And then I count back the comments and everything. You basically have to be okay with me contacting you. And you don't have to pay anything for it. You don't have to pay shipping or anything. That's ridiculous. So, all right. We are going to get rid of that bobbin. And if you're watching going, what the heck is she doing with all these bobbins? Well, I'm about to run out of this red color thread and I'd really like to finish this video with it. So we're using all the little scrap bobbins that I have from my embroidery machine where I made reindeer with these colors. And then this is just like the very last of what's left on the color. And because I'm going to run out of thread here, like look at this, this thing's going to run out for sure. I want to get through this rug without running out of thread. I mean, worst case scenario, we don't get quite to the end because we're out of thread and then I got to order some. But ideally, if we just baby this stuff all the way through, we might be able to do it. Okay, just as a reminder, when you're starting your thread again, I put my zigzag length to 0 and then I go back and forth a little bit. Okay, Rose is from California. Hi, Rose. Thanks for joining us. I hope you like it here. I'm from Calgary, Alberta, Canada. I sew these rugs and then I have all kinds of products that I take to farmers markets and Christmas markets with me. And I teach it all right here on this channel. So I hope you stay and I hope you like it. And Tina, I'm going to show you what I mean on the bottom side here right away too. Right after this bobbin runs out, I'll have enough on here to show you what's going on. So make sure you have no tension on this. If it starts to pull from the basket, stop immediately. Now we're to the point that we don't have to give these first few corners any little give on the inside. We just need to make sure that the fabric is feeding evenly. Don't push or pull anything here. Okay, when this bobbin runs out, Tina, I'm going to flip over this other side and show you close up what I'm talking about. See, that bobbin didn't get very far, did it? But you know what? That's better than nothing. Might be able to finish this video. Okay. And I'll be able to show you here, Tina, exactly what I'm talking about because I actually have a spot. So can you see this here where this little edge isn't, right? So when you sewed in the middle, you're going to have lots of these little edges. So this is why I said you sewed in the middle. You might want to sew a second line a little closer to the edge so you have less of these. So when I'm done, this is the back side, right? I'm going to flip the rug over, and anything that isn't perfect like this, I'm just going to tack down with another little zigzag. Does that help? I hope that helps. Let me know if you have another question. All right, back to the sewing machine. And we're back. Okay, next little bobbin. And then we've got 2 bigger bobbins, but this one isn't even going to be worth it. This one's only got a few little things on it. Oh, you know what? This won't be so bad, I don't think. I've got a couple little colors here that are very similar. Maybe we'll be able to do it. Okay, let's try this. What are we going to try? We'll try the full bobbin, see if we can get all the way around. And then I've got a half bobbin I can use for this if I need to. I guess I didn't plan this very well because I don't have extra thread. That's brilliant. Thank you so much. You're welcome. I'm glad that that is helpful because I'm like, oh, that's going to suck. But basically, like anytime I want to start something new, I come to YouTube and go and look because I guarantee you whatever problem I'm having, some other person has had the same problem. I just feel like I'm not special. You know, I can't be the only person in the world that's experiencing all the things that I'm experiencing. Okay, cutting off the thread where we started again. And we fixed the kidney. Everything's laying flat. This fabric is actually sewing super nice. This is, if you're new here, it is Ruby Days 40 Karat Gems by Wilmington Prince. And sometimes you don't know how this is going to sew, especially on the like this going round and round part. You don't know how this is going to sew. As I said before, sometimes the fabric is sticky and your needle will start missing stitches. So I use 116 jeans needle or the Janome purple needle, which will pick up stitches. And if you're new here, in the video description and the first comment when I'm done the video, we'll have the Amazon link for all of the supplies that I use. There's no secrets, but go ahead and ask me anything. Made my first one a couple days ago and had to tear it apart because it curled on me. It's fine now. Yeah, that it happens, right? The second the rug is not laying flat, you need to tear it out, basically. And if you're if you've got a big bump in it and you don't tear it out, it will never be flat. So watch my videos. They're very helpful. I walk you through each and every step. You know, you get the odd little, you know, wave of something. You can iron that. But the thing is I wasn't able to like know when to iron a wave out until I had sewn like 500 rugs. Everything had to get ripped out. But as you learn and grow, it's like driving a car. You can't go super fast around the first corner. You got to give yourself a minute. So now I can do this and talk at the same time, which is super helpful for, you know, people here. I mean, I think people are having a good time. We like doing this stuff. It's like a little, you know, club. Would you recommend a walking foot? You know what? Lots of people really like a walking foot. And if you're a beginner and you have a walking foot, I absolutely recommend doing that. Now, I've done this so many times that I don't need a walking foot. But I didn't think I needed this thing, which is the Clover tool. And as it turns out, it's fabulous. And if you don't have one, go ahead and get one. On one of my videos, I give one of these away. So there's that. At the Christmas markets, I will have these available. And I don't know, one day I might sell stuff like this on my website. It's kind of hard because I don't want to be home all the time to make shipments because I'm spoiled. Because I'm 50 years old and we go camping, so I'm not here all the time. I do have, like, whenever we go anywhere, we do have somebody that lives in the house just for security reasons, right? And last summer we were gone for 10 days and she was super helpful. And she mailed out a bunch of orders for me, which was great. But I don't want to have to ask her all the time, right? And then, I don't know if you know this, but people on the internet aren't as nice as in real life. And sometimes they get pretty ticked off with you if you don't send them their stuff right the second that they ordered it. I'm having a great time. Would it be better using a walking foot as my first time? Oh, that was Tina. Yes. Oh, she made a jelly roll bowl. Yeah. Haven't we all made a jelly roll bowl at some point? Crazy. I'm glad you guys are having a good time. Who else is here? We've got a whole bunch of viewers here right now, you guys. So why don't you let us know who you are and where you're from? Come on, join in the fun. Tina here was staying to the end to learn this part of it because she sewed the tube already and wanted to see how to sew the round and round part. So it's not hard, right? Like, I'm letting the machine do all the work. No tension. That's the biggest key. Other than the first few corners where you have to ease this fabric around the corners, you can basically just sit here. And before I cough again, I'm going to get a sip of my cold coffee. But you get it, right? Yes to the walking foot. If you're a new sewer, I highly recommend you use every advantage you can. So the walking foot is great. I've said repeatedly on here, buy decent fabric. It doesn't have to be the most expensive fabric in the store, but buy decent fabric, buy decent thread, buy the clover tool, good batting. I use Pellon cotton batting with scrim. I had to go, okay, bye, it's Jane, right? I'm glad you had such a good time. Thank you for staying. We'll see you in the next video. Oh, I'm talking to my own television. But yes, thank you. Thank you for being here. We'll see you in the next video. All right. Where did I see that thread? I just saw one. I think we're going to be able to get almost to the end of this, you guys, with my tricky way of using bobbins. See here, I got a tiny little bit of a bump, but if you push that down, it'll be fine. Everything is laying perfectly flat. This is a 40 strip rug. So at the end of it, it should be about 41 inches by 32, I would guess, approximately for this one, just because I know the fabric when I started was 44 inches wide. When you buy these strips, sometimes they're 42 inches wide and sometimes they're 44. What kind of thread? The thread that I'm using is a 40 weight polyester embroidery thread. And when I am done the video, I will have a video description for this up pretty quickly, like as soon as YouTube's done processing it, because it takes a minute when you're doing lives. But it'll have the Amazon link and even my long form, like if you go to my channel and you search the ultimate rug tutorial, in that video is the same Amazon shopping link, and it has absolutely everything I use for this project. There's no secrets. But if you do purchase something through Amazon, I may receive a small commission. Like on Amazon, you have to, click on the link and then shop on the exact same day in order for me to get a commission. Yeah. Ooh. And commissions range from like, I think it's like 3%. And then up, like if you're selling like cameras or big electronics and stuff like that, you could get like 10%, I think. But it's not a huge amount of money. Last month on Amazon, my thread's out here. Last month on Amazon, I made, what did I make? Like $17, I think. So it wasn't a huge amount of money, but it's some money. So thank you for doing that. All right. This is all the thread we have left, and then I'm going to have to end the video, but you can see we've done pretty well. Another trick that I do here on this machine, you guys, you know, I'm always looking for 1% better of something. So when I get going pretty good on these machines, I want my thread not to bounce around. So I taped this plastic straw, literally just with a piece of tape. And I weave my thread through the plastic straw to this other end, and I pull it out. And this way, when I'm sewing, I just want to reduce any tension. So like I have this stand here, but sometimes the thread kind of goes wonky on here. I still use it, but what I do is I just give myself like 1% less chance of this wobbly thread here getting tied up here and then buggering up in here. So I put this straw on there, and I've done it, I don't know, for years. If you check my other videos, you'll see this silly straw there. And you'll see that I am using a metal bobbin, and that is wrong. You should always use a plastic bobbin. I did a tutorial on that a little while ago. I found out that you shouldn't use a metal bobbin. But what happened was I used a metal bobbin in this machine, and I believe I buggered it up, and now it won't sew with a plastic bobbin, so I am stuck using the metal one. And I'm probably going to regret that one day. But I didn't know. The straw is genius. I know. Because, you know, things bounce around, and you have no idea when it's going to like just hit something and have this one little loop. And then by the time it gets over here, you've buggered it up, and you could have just put it through a straw, which is, I don't know, 5 cents. Not even. They're not expensive. They're outlawed in a lot of our province, but I have a few in my bar, so I'm using them. Okay, let's see how far we can get on this rug before this thread runs out and I've got to order more thread. But we're going pretty good, and as you can see, it's going pretty flat. Now, Tina, for sure you're going to want to watch that other video because the last few strips of the rugs, which I probably won't be able to do here due to lack of thread, I flip things up and back and show you how to lift some weight off of it if it's pulling. So make sure you watch that other tutorial. And the straw is genius. Great idea. Yeah. If you've sewn anything, you know that thread can bounce around and you have absolutely no control over it. So I'm an avid podcast listener, and I was listening to this podcast that was telling the story of the British cycling team that kept losing. So like losing the Tour de France or whatever, you know, big cycling things are. And they hired a new coach, and he went through their entire program, and he was like, okay, we don't have to be, you know, 50% better at everything. All we need to do to make this successful is be 1% better at everything. And I tell this story all the time because I play it in my head like every day. So 1% tighter, more aerodynamic jerseys, 1% better haircuts so you have less wind resistance, 1% shave the stubble off your face, 1% better pedal, 1% better tires, 1% better frame of the bike, like 1% on everything. And then they made all of these changes, and then they won something. So I try to do that with my sewing. It's like, okay, how could I make this 1%, you know, cheaper for my supplies without sacrificing quality, which is very important, you guys, just so you know. 1%, my thread isn't bouncing around. 1%, my studio is lit better and I make fewer mistakes. So I've done that across my entire business, and what a change it's made. Whose name is that? I can't see it on my TV. Kariram Dwazi. I think plastic straws are outlawed in most of Canada. Yeah, I'm not a fan of paper straws, but you know what? We're doing little things to try to help the planet, and I'm not in charge of that, so I'm not even going to worry about it. I'm just going to use my plastic straw, and if I don't like the taste of the paper straw, I will just drink out of the cup like I always did before. So lots of ways of getting around it. So as you can see, we're going here pretty good. Everything is still flat. We're not pushing or pulling on any of the fabric. We're just letting the machine feed things through. Definitely going to run out of thread. Good thing I know where to order more of it, because I did buy 8 packages of this fabric. So we've got 24 people here right now. Okay, you guys, we're almost done this live video for today. Do you have questions as we go through? Because once I am out of bobbin thread, I'm going to chug back the rest of my coffee. I'm going to answer all the questions until we're done asking them. And then I'm going to let everybody get on with their day. Any questions, you guys? Any comments? You want to ask me anything? Let's go. Now's the time. We're using 40 strips of 100% quilt cotton. The package I got is Ruby Days from Wilmington Prints. So it's an all red rug. The thread is a 40 weight polyester thread, an embroidery thread. The Amazon shopping link will be in the video description and first comment as soon as YouTube is done processing the video. The needle is a 116 jeans needle. Why my rug bowls up after it's half done? Yeah, Lisa, I have another full-length tutorial. It's, if you go to my channel, it's called the Ultimate Rug Tutorial. Go and watch that video. It has 4, on the thumbnail, it has 4 rugs that I've made. I've made over 1,500 rugs. And in that video, I walk you through very slowly each and every step of the sewing everything round and round and explain it to you in great detail. Your rug is bowling up because you are either pushing or pulling the fabric. Okay, thank you so much for all your help and advice. I have been watching as many of your videos as I can, and I look forward to the next live. Yes, I look forward to it too. Maybe I'll do another one later this afternoon if I've got enough energy and thread. I was up pretty late, but I'm having fun doing these lives. I need the watch time on my channel right now too, but I'm kind of stuck with, do I do like a tutorial video where I'm editing the whole video, or do I get on and do some lives? And the thing is, right now, I have to produce so much in order to have enough stock for all my Christmas markets that I don't want to, it's not that I don't want to do a tutorial where I have to edit it, but I still want to, be able to produce enough content to keep growing my YouTube channel, which also pays me, and doing the lives really helps. And it's a little bit less work than the properly edited videos. So you're probably going to see a bunch of lives here as to how I work and everything in the next little while, because yeah, I need to make the products, and why not, visit on my channel with a bunch of people? Why not, right? Thanks for doing this today. It was very informative, and I look forward to your next live video. Thank you so much, Angie. That was very kind of you. I'm going to laugh if we're able to finish this rug. I don't think we will be because of what's on these bobbins, but it's pretty close. Pretty dang close. And if you just go slow and steady and don't push or pull the fabric going either direction, this will lay flat. This is why it's important to use good batting, good fabric. Like I said, it doesn't have to be the most expensive, but don't buy dollar store fabric and expect this to work out. Probably not going to work out. A flat table. And I have another video too. Like I have the ultimate tutorial, but then I have the jelly roll, my top 6 tips video as well. And that is a good video for showing you the table setup and all that kind of stuff. It's pretty helpful. And if you haven't subscribed yet, can I please ask you to subscribe and hit the bell notification button? And then YouTube should be telling you when I'm live or when I put out another video. And in 3 weeks from now, I have a huge mega announcement to make about a new project that I've done. That's it, you guys. A new project that I've done that is going to be launched here in 3 weeks. Very excited about that. I've done something amazing. Can't wait for it to get done. But let's just see how many strips we have left here. There can't be too many. Maybe 10? Nope, that's it. So that's the end of it. I'm sorry I ran out of thread. I guess I didn't plan that very well, but that's what happens when you go live. Okay, so does anybody have any questions before we go here? I know I think there's 18 of you guys still left here. Hi everyone. So we'll just leave this up for a couple of minutes here and see if there's any questions. And I know a whole bunch of you are going to drop off, but I'm Jolene. I'm from Calgary, Alberta, Canada. My business is Home Stitchery Decor. Not only do I do the rugs, I do all kinds of products that mix and match with them. So dish towels, soup bowl cozies, dish drying, mats, potato bags, hand crocheted dishcloths. I have a whole line of cards. And I teach everything that I do here on my YouTube channel, and I share the links. So if you want to support the channel, you can subscribe, you can leave a super thanks, you can join the channel membership, which I need to work more on, to be honest. Maybe don't join that quite yet. What else do I do? I'm at farmers markets, Christmas markets. I sell wholesale, all the kind of fun things. Subscribe. Thank you, SEW. So thank you so much for subscribing. I appreciate that. And yeah, we'll just leave it here for a couple more seconds and see if another question comes up. And if you do have questions too, you can always come back to the comment section and just leave a question after the fact. So we started this rug, I believe it was at 9:25, and it's now 11:37. Oh, that's so sweet, Tina. Bye, Jolene and Angie. Nice to meet you both. Yay. Isn't that nice? This is what YouTube is supposed to be about. It's YouTube. So me, right? Like you. They're talking to you, and I'm talking to you. And this is how we make friends. And I'm so glad to be able to do this. And I'm so freaking thankful that I get to do this for work. Like, can you imagine? I get to come in my sewing studio in my own home. I get to put laundry in if I need to put laundry in. I get to start the crock pot. I get to go to a doctor's appointment, all the kind of things, you know, that you dream about, being able to just have some flexibility in your life. And I'm able to do that because of having a crafting channel. And it's because of viewers like you guys. So thank you. Thank you to the moon and back. I really appreciate you guys. Nice to meet everybody. I'm going to end the live now. Thank you for the live, subscribed and liked. Bye, Rose. We'll see you in the next video. And like I said, maybe if I feel like it later on this afternoon, I'll do another live. But yeah, maybe this will be it for today. We'll see. Got a bunch of other things I need to do too. So thanks, you guys. I'm going to end the video. I hope that's it. And if you do have questions, just leave them in the comments and I'll for sure get back to you. Okay? Bye.